times are changing, and certainly not for the better. So what excuse do we have now to not learn the Book of Allah?
Can you see the people of the strip of the Holy Land praying in a mosque, which is nothing but rubble? This was the Friday prayer going on when they saw aid coming down from the sky. Yes, brothers and sisters, the Friday prayer Jamaat was the only time the UN helicopters chose to drop the aid and ration bags. Their intention behind this stunt was that the Muslims who have gathered in the mosque will leave the Friday prayer in the middle and run for food. It was very natural for them to do that, brothers and sisters. They have been eating grass for the last so many months. Their children are dying of starvation. Pregnant females are dying due to starvation. They are living in tents in the scorching heat. Water is scarce. How could not they run for the aid being thrown at them from the helicopters? But guess what happened in reality? Not a single one of them left the Jamaat. They continued their prayer without thinking about the food they could catch for their children who had been starving for months. The adversity, the unfair, unjust war has heightened their iman. They have become the men of the Almighty. Food, clothes, homes carry no value to them. They have been fighting till now for the last 7 decades and will continue to do so even if their whole generation is finished off. Brothers and sisters, it was completely halal for them to leave the prayer and run to catch the aid. When a Muslim is starving, all haram things become halal. And that applied here as well. Here is a story that tells us how the strength of faith matters more than anything in the world. More than donating millions, performing Hajj every year, and performing all the good deeds. There was once an Imam Abdullah bin Mubarak who was a very pious man. One year he would do jihad and the next year he would do Hajj. He lived in a place called Merv in Central Asia. He would travel every other year for Hajj. So he went for Hajj like many others. He now came back from Hajj and reached Merv. He performed his Hajj and after performing it, he slept. He saw a dream where 2 angels descended. One angel said to the other, "How many people have performed Hajj this year?" He replied, 16,000. The angel asked, "How many people's hearts have been accepted?" The reply was, "Not even one, besides one man called Usman bin Affan." He woke up in the morning deeply concerned about this. He was shaking and perspiring. He hurried to Damascus. He reached Damascus and asked the people if they knew a man called Usman bin Affan. They directed him to his house. He knocked on the door and Uthman opened it. He asked his name and Uthman replied. He asked about his profession and Uthman said he was a cobbler. So he said to him, "I want to ask you a question. I had a dream and I want to ask you about it." He related the dream to him and after listening, Uthman said, "I am a cobbler and I had a deep desire to perform Hajj. But because my income is very little for the last 20 years, I have been saving up to perform Hajj. This year, I had enough money to perform Hajj and my wife was pregnant. She smelled meat from the neighbor's house and you know pregnant women, when they smell something, they want it there and then. So she asked me to go and ask the neighbors for the meat. I went to the neighbor's house and the lady opened the door. I said, 'My wife is pregnant and you're cooking some meat. Can I ask you for that meat?' The lady said, 'The meat is halal for us, but it's haram for you.' I asked, 'How's that halal for you and haram for us?' She replied, 'For many days, my children have had nothing to eat. They've been starving. Today I was walking on the street and I saw a dead donkey. I cut the meat from the donkey to feed my children. The meat that I'm cooking is the meat of the donkey, so it's halal for us and haram for you.' I went home, brought all the money that I had gathered for 20 years and gave it to this lady. I said, 'This is my Hajj.' He didn't even perform Hajj, but Allah gave him the reward for performing the Hajj. Isn't it so funny how we all walk around never even thinking of the days under the ground? The drive and ambition take all our lives for this world, for fame, for power. When the son of Adam sins, Allah tells the angels to not write it immediately. It is possible that he repents and his sin will be washed away. But when the son of Adam intends to do a good deed, even before he actually performs it, the reward is written in his Amal Nama. Such is the blessing of the Almighty. The system that the Almighty has been operating is a very fair one. He knows what our deepest desires are, what our minds are thinking in the deepest section of consciousness and subconsciousness.